We all love that one flight, the cursed one, the did I personally offend aviation flight. This was mine. So, we had just finished visiting my grandma in South Dakota. Very wholesome, very Midwest, very corn. Our trip home required a connection South Dakota, Denver, San Francisco. Now, I actually like flying. Bold opinion, I know, but it's not so bad. Most of the time. We landed in Denver and headed to our gate. That's when they announced our flight was delayed an hour. Okay, fine, no big deal. That's the airport for sit with your thoughts. So we walked around and found donuts, not just donuts, life altering donuts. Shout out to Voodoo Donuts for being the emotional support of that entire afternoon. We came back to the airplane to board. Delayed again. And again. And again. By the time we actually boarded the plane, it was 7 p.m. We finally sat down. Everyone looks exhausted. The vibe is airport purgatory. Then the announcement comes on. All right, folks, we just need to fuel up. Excuse me? We just waited 4 hours. The gate changed about 17 times. Entire families emotionally evolved. And now we're fueling? Maybe fueling has to be last. Maybe there's a sacred or aviation ritual. Maybe someone has to gently encourage the engine. I don't know. Still mad. My seat ended up being wedged between two older ladies who were traveling with several, yes, several, dry clean dresses. As it turns out, my assigned seat had been functioning as their personal walk-in closet before I showed up to rudely insist on sitting in it. So they gathered up the dresses, aka just relocated them onto me. About an hour and a half later, they announced, "Good news, the plane has been fueled and we're ready for takeoff." And people cheered. Full stadium energy. We were so broken that basic functionality felt heroic. But the announcement wasn't over. There's also been a shift change. We need to wait for a new pilot. Silence. Not awkward silence. Pre riot silence. And then people lost it, yelling, paper flying. Thought we were about to crowdfund our own cockpit crew. We sat there for another 2 hours. It was almost 11 p.m. At this point, I am thirsty, hungry, desperately needed to use the bathroom, but we're grounded and not allowed to get up, slightly nauseous, emotionally dissolved. Right then, they bring out the snack cart. Apparently, they felt bad, so they gave everyone first class snacks. Honestly, respected the crew. That had to be a brutal shift. But I was so sick and exhausted, I didn't even want the food. I just stared at it like you're part of the problem. Finally, we took off. We landed. We got to my other grandma's house at 1 in the morning. I collapsed instantly. And that, friends, was the plane trip from hell. Anyway, like, subscribe, and share. And if you excuse me, I have a donut store to locate.